They say they love you. They don't love you like I do. They don't love you like I do. Like I do. Whoa.
YouTube. Yes, sir. It's your boy, Real King J. You know, I'm back with it once again, man. You know, I'm down here at the lake. One of my favorite spots to come in Austin, man. You know, so I'm not a big fan of Austin. Truthfully, I don't like Austin. But one thing I got to give Austin is we got some beautiful nature out here. You know, if you can see behind me, beautiful nature, right? But without further ado, let's get into it. Never let anybody get you off your square, right? See, in life, a lot of times, man, you're going to be tested emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. It's up to you on how you deal with situations. It's up to you to control your emotions and to control your thinking and your perception of situations, right? And I've had a couple situations happen within the past week that has really tested of who I am and who my character is as a man, right? And one thing that I've learned about myself that I know that I really could work on is how I handle situations when I'm upset, right? I'm not always the most emotionally intelligent. I'm not always the most, how can I say it, logical when I deal with certain situations, right? And it's nobody's responsibility to control how I feel, right? It's nobody's responsibility to control what I say, control what I do, or control how I react to certain situations, right? It's up to you to get you where you want to be, right? Just like it's up to you to decide who you let in your life and decide who you spending your time with and decide what you're doing in your life. You got to control your emotions. You can't let nobody else get you off of your square. You can't let other people get you out of bounds. You can't let other people trick you out your position. I got a few people at my job that I don't care for, right? But I've learned to ignore that. I've learned to ignore them and focus on what I'm there for. Focus on my purpose, right? So at my job, my purpose is to do my job, go home, come back and do my job again. My purpose is not to worry about this person or that person, who doesn't like me and who does like me, right? When you let your emotions control you, you make illogical decisions. You can't make the best decision in your life on a super emotional mind, especially as a man, right? Women are more emotionally based, as they should be, right? They're nurturers, they're mothers, they're more on the passive side, and that's how God made them. They're supposed to be like that. But us as men, we can't move out of our emotions. Us as men, we cannot let our emotions dictate our performance. You know what I'm saying? How we move and the decisions that we make. We have to use logic, and more importantly, we have to use discernment. When you don't use discernment and you don't use logic, that's how you end up making these mistakes that years down the road you regret. So many people are sitting in a cell right now, in a jail cell, in a prison cell right now, because of one small mistake, or maybe not a small mistake, but one mistake that they made due to their emotions, due to them not being in control of their emotions, right? And in my life right now, you know, and I've explained in my past videos, you know, I'm going through certain things in my life right now. Like I said, a lot of things I won't get into, might get into it in the future. But I've learned, the more stoic that I am, the more that I don't let things get to me, the more I don't let anybody get me off my square, the more logical I'm able to make decisions, the more I'm able to see things for what they are. Another thing is when you let emotions dictate your decisions, you see things through a tinted lens. You see things through a certain perception, right? You don't see things for what they are. And that's the thing about us as human beings. We never see things on how they really are. We see things on how we are. We see things based on our perception, based on our experiences, right? I'm telling you, don't let your emotions get you in a bad spot. Leave the emotional decision making to women, right? Now, I'm not saying that in a degrading way, women, so don't get on me. But I'm just saying, as a man, you shouldn't let your emotions dictate your decision making, your actions. Now, I'm not saying to be completely emotionless, right? You should definitely be aware of your emotions, but you shouldn't be so aware and so connected to your emotions that you're letting that dictate your actions. You're letting that dictate how you move and your productivity. You know, to get anywhere in life, you got to move past those emotions. I didn't feel like coming out here and doing my walk today, but I told myself I'm on a 100-pound journey. You know what I'm saying? Truthfully, I didn't feel like making this video today. My mind hasn't been there in the past couple of days. But I said, you know what? There's somebody else out there that's probably going through exactly what I'm going through. Maybe had this same thought on their mind, right? You can't let your emotions dictate your productivity. You can't let your emotions dictate on how you move. Just like I said in my last video, you got to stay focused on what you want to do. You got to stay focused on where you want to be in your life. How can you stay focused on where you want to be in your life if you let your emotions dictate if you move left or if you move right? You not staying focused on where you want to be. My bad. My phone fell. It was on a water bottle. I just go hold it for the rest of the video. But yeah, how can you get to where you want to be if you let your emotions dictate? You let your emotions dictate where you want to be. Never, 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 never. Like Aki say, never, never, never. Never let anybody get you out your square. Never let nobody trick you out your position. If you at a point where you too mad, you too this, you too that, the best thing to do always is walk away. You cannot control other people, but you can control your own emotions. I say it again. You cannot control other people, but you can control your own emotions and your own decisions. Like, comment, subscribe. That's all I got today. And I'm gone. Peace.